That was not one of the ones that
Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting of the East Norriton Township Board of Supervisors to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll call, please.
Matthew Brown, Chief of Police.
Krista Heinrich, Township Engineer.
Cindy King, Director of Finance.
Jeff Winterbottom, Assistant Manager.
Bob Hart, Township Consultant.
Sean Gilkenny, Township Solicitor.
Samuel Coleman, Supervisor Vice Chair.
Joe Cabanas, Supervisor. Kevin McDevitt, Supervisor.
And Laura Rivera, Chair. I'd like to announce that we had a brief executive session immediately preceding this meeting to discuss issues of personnel. And we'll start by approving the regular meeting minutes of our last meeting, June 24th, 2025. Would anyone, well, first, does anyone have any questions? Did anyone have an opportunity to review? Okay. Hearing none, would anyone like to put that into a motion?
I'll put that in motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Coleman.
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Cabanas. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. Citizens to be heard. Invite anyone to come to the podium and initiate. Okay, all right, wonderful.
That's for agenda items, right? Not for general items?
For general, do we have a guideline on that?
You can do it.
We do it twice in the meeting, but you're welcome to speak now, or?
I can wait until the second.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I assumed that the first was agenda items, the second was general.
That makes sense, that's very courteous. We have a brief agenda tonight and not too controversial, so we should get through pretty quickly. Do any of my fellow supervisors have any comments to make? No? Okay, well, I do. I would just like to welcome our new finance director, Cindy, and invite her to share a sentence or two to introduce herself. We'll have plenty of opportunity to get to know her better over the next couple months, especially when we get into the budget cycle later this year.
Okay. My name is Cindy King. I just started yesterday, and I hail from Lancaster County originally. I have family that live very close by here, and I have a lot of different roles that I have played in municipalities in the past. I have been a Secretary Treasurer, a code enforcement officer. I have been a zoning hearing board secretary, a planning commission secretary, and an accountant and a finance director. So I do have a lot of municipal experience. I also have experience, and I feel like I'm trying to sell myself in a job interview. Everybody wants a job. And I've also worked as a project manager for a civil engineering firm. So municipal government is very familiar to me.
It's awesome, thank you. And I should say, we're all selling ourselves to our constituents that we're privileged to represent every day. So thank you for joining.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, we're going to start with old business.
Okay, old business. This is very apropos. We're going to award bids for decommissioned police equipment. Old stuff. To go on, Chief of Police Matt Brandon to review this item.
Thank you, Supervisor Cabanas. As you guys know, on June 24th, the Board of Supervisors, we requested to sell decommissioned police vehicles and equipment. That was approved. The items were placed on municipal from July the 3rd to July the 17th. And these are the results of the municipal bid. The 2014 Ford Explorer with 134,678 miles was sold for $1,800 to a Stephen Jones. The 2008 Ford Explorer with 107,651 miles, the highest bidder was Christopher Bacara for $2,055. The locking storage cabinet was sold, highest bid was $201 for a Russell Berry, and the Ricoh Officio MPW 3600 wide format scanner copier printer, $220 to a David Cray. The light bar and the phone system did not receive any bids. Requesting approval to sell those items to the highest bidders.
Okay, that sounds great. Anybody have any questions?
Do you need a motion for that to sell the items?
I I think we do.
To approve the highest one, yeah.
I'll put that in form of a motion.
Thank you, Supervisor Coleman.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Supervisor McDevitt. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries.
Okay, new business, Stanbridge Street improvement proposal. I'd like to call on Mr. Hart to review this item.
Thank you, Supervisor Devitt. Before you tonight is a proposal from Remington Burning Engineers to really update our plan for Stanbridge Street Park as far as some of the items that we're about to commence construction and purchase of. Recall we received several state grants involved with our park over the last couple of years. We're in the process of building a tennis court, or tennis courts / pickleball courts currently, and there are several other items and ADA accommodations that are all part of this that need to be prepared and laid out per regulation. So that is being prepared, starting to be prepared immediately, and the engineering fees really, we have a maximum that we're expecting $48,350, but tonight, a lump sum of $37,650 is what I'm asking you to approve, so we can get these plans finished up, so we can get that money and get some of the other items taken care of. They include a scoreboard for the field, some new lights for the field, a sort of pavilion, new pavilion for down by the tennis courts. So it's a lot of those things, some trails and paths that are all going to connect our new courts. So that's what's before you tonight.
And is that funded by the grant or part of our capital improvement budget?
This will be funded, we get to take 10% of it, of the total grant, but some of this will be ours, depending on what, this is not to exceed, but it'll be minimal. And we have budgeted, so we know it's coming.
Any other questions? Would anyone like to move to approve that?
I'll move to approve that.
Thank you, Vice Chair Coleman. Any seconds?
I'll second.
Thank you, Supervisor Gomez. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries.
Authorization to advertise Pacer Lane Sewer Infrastructure Project. I would like to call on our Council Consultant, Robert Hart, to review this item.
Thank you, Supervisor Coleman. We are finally ready to have the board vote to authorize for an RFP for our Pacer Lane Stormwater Project. It really deals with down towards Swede, all the way down the hill. The backyards who have been dealing with stormwater floods over the years and a variety of problems, especially certain homes have really taken the brunt of the stormwater. This is a considerably complex project. We got our first grant in 2019, and we're just starting the project now. We have 3 grants total, close to $3 million to move these phases of project together. They will have a major impact on the properties and the viability of some backyards and all the way down the corridor there. So all we're asking for tonight is the authorization to advertise, and we will come back once we get bids and we'll talk more about the project, and we'll actually meet with the residents involved as a group down by the project in the next month or so. So that's what we'll do tonight.
Great. Anyone want to put that into the form of motion or answer the question?
I'll make that a form of motion.
Okay, thank you, Supervisor McDevitt. And second?
Second.
Thank you, Vice Chair Coleman. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries.
Okay, since we already talked about decommissioning police equipment, now we're talking about authorization to sell obsolete police equipment, and Chief Brannon will update us on that.
Thank you, Supervisor Govanis. I'm requesting tonight permission to sell 4 X26 tasers, as well as 2 charging cables for the X26 models. The X26 models is one of the oldest models, first released in 2003. They're obsolete, we no longer use them. I am requesting permission to sell them to Accredited Security. It's a reputable company out of Florida that purchases used taser equipment, refurbishes it, and sells it to other law enforcement and correction agency. The Taser X26 is about $100 each, and the cables will fetch approximately $20 each, so we're looking at $440 rather than disposing of them outright. We think that we can get those funds from that company. We're requesting approval for that tonight.
Thank you. Yeah, I was worried for a second you said you were going to put them up on Municipal. And actually, are there like guidelines around what you can sell through that platform? Because anybody can buy there, right?
Yeah, yes, that's correct. If you create an account and you can purchase there, but we wouldn't put the tasers or any other kind of those types of equipment. It's normally just, you know.
Does the platform control any of the sales for those types of things?
The platform of Municipal?
Yeah.
It is, to my knowledge, yes, but I'm speaking out of my limited experience with
So
Municipal.
that's just our policy that we wouldn't.
That's who we use as an approved, mechanism to sell those things. But with conducted electrical weapons, we're selling it to somebody who only sells to law enforcement and corrections in the secondary market.
Yes, Chair, we wouldn't sell them just to the general public. I know we're going to send it to them. Yeah,
Because I guess some people do buy them for like personal protection.
Yes.
But yeah, I don't know.
And just to the chief, if any potential buyers are looking for proof that these tasers work, Jeff Winterbottom has offered his assistance to
Already been hit about a dozen
Thank you. Anyone want to put that into a motion?
I will put that in for a motion that we authorize the police chief to sell the obsolete police equipment to Accredited Security.
Thank you, Supervisor Cabanas. Any second?
Second.
Thank you, Vice Chair Coleman. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries.
Okay, next item on the agenda is authorized to purchase a 2025 Ford Explorer. I'd like to call on Jeff Winterbottom to tell us all about this.
Thank you, Supervisor McDevitt. So we are asking for approval to purchase a 2025 Ford Explorer through CoStars in the amount of $49,525. This is for our fire marshal. This is to replace the Ford Explorer that was totaled in 2022, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
I'm glad this is a hybrid, which is something that we can try our best to be more conscious of the environment and everything such, and efficiencies. As you recall, the initial accident was 3 years ago in 2022. We feel that the fire marshal has learned his lesson after 3 years, and that we would replace his car appropriately.
I wasn't breaking that up.
You've been using his personal vehicle?
No.
We are making it work, but
Okay.
I'm having a need for it.
Yeah.
Do we have experience with other hybrid vehicles, or will this
Yes,
be our first?
yes. Police and all of our codes are hybrids.
Yeah.
Anyone want to put that into a motion?
I'll put that in for a motion.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion carries.
Authorization to approve mutual aid agreement, hyphen fire investigations. I'd like to call on Township Consultant Rob Hart to review this item.
Thank you, Supervisor Coleman. This is a memorandum of understanding before you tonight. It's an agreement that has been really kicked around for quite a while. It comes from, we're paying now to us. It's really just to pool our fire marshal services for when needed. Not every township has certified fire marshals to the same degree. East Orange Township happens to have some extremely certified. We sent one of our code fire marshals to a federal program for 2 weeks, so we have a lot of expertise in this, and so do others. But a lot of these things hit at times where resources are not available for a variety of reasons. And having this memo of understanding, it allows everyone to know ahead of time. We all work off the same program, the same standards, and we can interchange investigations when need be. And I know we have the fire chief and the fire vice president here who know this very well, but it's important for us, but all of us, that we have many, we have other memorandums of understanding between mutual aid with other fire companies. This sort of is the first time we've taken it into the fire marshal realm, so.
Yeah, we have a mutual aid for building fires and gas leaks and that kind of thing. This mutual aid agreement is for fire marshals. And like Mr. Hart said, if it happens on a Sunday afternoon at 4 o'clock, you may not be able to get your township fire marshal. So this agreement says, okay, can we see if Whitpain's going to come over, or Plymouth, or that kind of thing to help us out. So it's a good item that I think is going to be well used in the future.
So this is in the event that there's a need for an investigation for code compliance or insurance?
No, it's mostly for if it was a fire.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not anything with code. So, yeah, but definitely, if we had a fire, like just on Sunday, West North had a fire, and our fire marshals went over and helped out investigate on Sunday.
But I guess my question, like, then who uses that information? Is it for the benefit of the municipality or media or?
Yeah, for
insurance?
it becomes an investigation, and then if there's any foul play, then it goes to PD. And you probably can explain some of this.
Yeah, looking to determine the cause of the fire. If it turns to be arson, it gets turned over to law enforcement and electrical, whatever the other sources are. That's what this is about, and sharing the knowledge and the people who are capable of doing that.
And many times homeowners, insurers request
Yeah.
these reports.
Yeah, that was the only example I can think of, so help me fill in some of the blanks. Thank you. Will anyone put that into a motion?
I'll put that in form of motion.
Thank you, Supervisor McDevitt.
I'll second.
Thank you, Supervisor Bananas. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. That motion carries.
Okay, it's time to pay the bills. Monthly expenditures for the past month. We'll ask Jeff Winterbottom to review that.
Thank you, Supervisor Bananas. So we are asking approval for the monthly expenditures dated June 24th through yesterday, July 21st. The total amount is $814,413.26. Accounts payable portion is $287,370.03, and the payroll was $527,043.23. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have on that, though it may take me until tomorrow.
It's a light month for payables compared to.
I don't have a comparison
Okay.
to really answer that question.
Could just be a summer thing. We don't do Amazon Prime here at East Orange Township, that's Prime Day. Okay, anyone want to put that into a motion?
I'll move that we pay bills.
Thank you, Supervisor. Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Supervisor Gomez. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, that motion carries. And now I'd like to invite our consultant, Hart, to provide an update.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We are coming to the end of our camp, our summer camp. It's been extremely successful. I don't want to say too much because there's still a little over a week left, but it has been the best run camp we've had in the 10 years that I've been here. You wouldn't think necessarily that summer camps can be difficult as they are, but they bring more challenges than you could ever imagine. We made a few tweaks this year, especially with staffing and some of the programming, and it has really worked out well for us. So we thank God, and we'll be doing that later on in the year, but Natalie Colson and our Parks and Rec team who've done a really fantastic job. And it's, I'm rarely stressed about camp this year because it's really something.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no Maylocks whatsoever.
Neither am I, as a parent with 3 campers, one of whose counselor is
My daughter.
So it's really great, I mean, just an incredible service that our township provides. And compared to neighboring townships, it's affordable, it's fun, it's easy, you know, what a gem for our township. So thank you very much.
We are also actively working towards our biggest day of the year, Community Day. It's this coming September. We'll be here before you know it. 5,000 to 7,000 people we're expecting again. So we're working hard at that. We really, you know, every year we try to do something unique, something a little extra special. So we're working on some things. We'll have a lot more for you on that issue at our next meeting. And just in general, we know we live in interesting times and stressful times in a lot of ways. I want to assure the board and the community that as a staff, from administrative staff to police staff to fire and emergency services staff, we take our jobs and our responsibilities extremely seriously. We implore, we do our best practices at all times. We do a lot of research on how we should respond to a variety of issues. So I just really want to assure you that we are prepared for the turbulent times that we are facing. We understand that as a board and as a community, we are looking to be the best community we can be, and to be accepting and what the community really needs. And we are working hard without getting into details. Just be assured that we understand the world we live in, and we are going to do our best at all times to make East Norton a safe, wonderful community that it is.
And you might want to clap for these.
Yeah, I'll clap to that as well. Thank you. Mr. Hart. Let's see, review of upcoming meetings and events.
Upcoming meetings and events, Monday, July 28th at 6:30 p.m. Historical Advisory Committee meeting. Tuesday, August 12th, 7 p.m. Zoning Hearing Board meeting. Wednesday, August 20th, 7 p.m. Planning Commission meeting. And Tuesday, August 26th, 7 p.m. our next Board of Supervisors regular meeting. And also Friday, August 8th, 7 p.m. to 9:30 p.m. Concert in the Park featuring Shot of Southern.
That's what we saw.
Clap for that. I'm excited for that one. Inviting our citizens to be heard to come to the podium. Yeah, just state your name and address.
I'm Christy Yingling. I live at 3010 Green Ridge Drive. I've lived in East Norton for 6 years now, and I never knew, this is my first meeting, I didn't know they were so juicy, with the tasers, and something with the fire sheets, like I should have been coming home.
Tell your friends.
So I basically wanted to ask, because I wanted to ask if East Norton has an ACE policy, and I Googled, and all I came up with was like snow removal. And I want to preface this by saying, I am not looking or asking to, harbor criminals and people not, typical law and order. I'm not asking to get around that. It's just, there have been escalating ice raids in West Norton. Communities are terrified. I do some volunteer work with some immigrant groups. They're terrified to leave the house. And also, non-immigrants, it's eroding trust in local law enforcement. People are scared of, local law enforcement's cooperating. I was talking to a woman the other day who said she's afraid to let her kids go out and, be independent and walk around town and run errands because she's afraid they might get caught up in an ice raid. And so I was looking to see if there was a policy where you could say, local law enforcement is not cooperating beyond what's legally required. We also know what's going on in the ICE detention centers, they're for-profit. People are reporting that they're not being fed because they have to pay to get food and phone calls. It's basically a massive human rights issue and, completely lacks compassion. So I was just wondering, A, do you have a policy and would you be interested in implementing a policy.
We do have a directive. I don't know if Mr. Hart or Chief Brennan, you want to?
I can start with the chief has any, yeah, we absolutely have a policy we've had since February.
Is it, like, where do you find it?
Well, it's usually requested, but we can, and we've had, at the prior meeting, we've had some people request.
Awesome, okay, yeah.
But just to give you a little, just basic, we absolutely, we follow the law in that if it's a signed judicial warrant, then we're required to
Of course, yeah.
follow that. If it is not a signed judicial warrant, there's administrative warrants, there's this, there's that. We follow the law, signed judicial warrants. And all of this, it really comes down to that. That's what we do, along with just about every municipality that I'm aware of. It does the same thing, at least in Montgomery County.
Okay.
So we are in unison as following the signed judicial warrant.
That's.
And I know that's what you want, that's where you
Yeah,
want.
and you're not like sharing data unnecessarily with people and stuff. And the other thing too is that I know that, like, for example, the Norristown Police Department has said, no, we're not parking, it's completely separate. But then there are photos of, 20 or 30 ICE agents hanging out all day in the police department parking lot and them hanging out with police officers. It's documented, it's proof that it's happening. And so, it's very easy to say one thing, but is it actually being enforced, or like, is there an actual policy, or how I want to trust you, but like, how do I?
I have a copy for you.
You can request from the chief.
Awesome, yeah.
Yep.
I'm not, I didn't
want to
realize
use
you would
tonight.
be here, this is amazing. I said I might have to start coming regularly, this is awesome.
Thanks, too. Okay, any other questions that need to be heard?
My name's Karen Cox. I live at 2990 Burnley Lane, around the corner from you. I just wanted to ask Mr. Hart, is there any update on the Browse property?
Not that I know right now, but I can find out and get back. I can ask for the most, the newest information. I don't know, Krista, do you have
Is
any?
it 2015 Drop Shop?
Yeah.
They, they haven't recently, in the recent past, they're working on, mostly on their sewage planning module now, but nothing really.
Yeah, I've been, coming to these meetings, but I've also been looking at the agenda for the zoning hearing meetings. But I noticed sometime this week that Pennsylvania One Call had sprayed some in the cul-de-sac.
They're required to do that like every so many days, just to keep it fresh, yeah.
But one of the concerns that I have, it's probably the thing that I'm looking forward the most to that being developed. I'm right there in the end of that cul-de-sac. There are 3 pine trees anywhere from 40, 60, 80 feet tall. When we get really bad storms like the one we had last week, those trees are bent over probably almost halfway, and when they go, they're going to hit my house. And they're not on my property, so there's nothing that I can do about it. So
I will offer this. We will reach out to them. I will look at them specifically because if they're going down this road, falling those trees as a safety precaution for your house seems like an easy ask, so we will try to do that, sure.
Pine trees have, they're healthy. I did have a tree guy come out and just make sure, but pine trees have very shallow roots, and also they're so tall that if lightning strikes, they're going to hit one of them.
I understand the storms we get now, every storm.
I know, it's crazy.
seems to be,
Okay, thanks,
So,
Mayor.
sure.
Oh, and I also wanted to piggyback on the camp. I have a granddaughter who goes there, and it's the greatest thing. And I have friends from other townships and other municipalities, and they said, "Oh, we wish we lived in East Orange." So it's good, and the kids don't get bored, and so I just want to compliment you and Parks and Recreation. So thank you.
Thank you.
Next.
McLaughlin, 2926 North Whitehall Road. Two things. First of all, the one speed sign going south that they put up years ago has not worked in at least 6 months. It is at the number of the address is 3014, and it has not worked. Now, the one down next to my house has been working, which goes north. This is the south one, so that's not working. Also, to another question, 2935, which is the property across the street from me, which is where they wanted to put the big 5-story apartment building, and they just took all the trees down, and they have a sign there for basically anybody who's interested in looking into doing some work on that property. It's been up for well over a year now. So is there any movement on that at all? It was Paul Pantone's property originally?
Yeah.
Are they like leasing it to PennDOT for their construction?
There's something on there, but I'll have to get back to you on that to get updated.
Yeah.
We go where you hear from them for a month, and then you don't hear a word for 7 months. So that's, but
Yeah,
just
they had
be in contact.
Corbo in there and they cut down trees, but they didn't take the stumps out, and then all this other stuff going on. And I know they passed the zoning years ago for like 5 or 6 townhomes in there.
Right.
Basically, and then the people in the back of the house in the back, they were basically sort of like evicted. And when they were evicted, basically, they left their dogs. And I think the police had to go in there and get the dogs there. And there was a couple pit bulls when they left. Because I know my neighbor up the street was watching when that was happening. She said that they had to pick, somebody went in and got the pit bulls. It's been a while for that, but I was just curious. I hadn't heard anything, seen anything. I don't know what's going on.
There's a developer, a small developer from Whitney who was interested in it, but because of the one house that's there, that complicates.
Well, that's a historic house.
Yes, almost everyone that goes there is complicated by that particular house.
As you go and do anything in that house, you're going to have all these people from Norristown Luther, and it's historic things. We're going to go crazy if you touch that house, because it is basically built by a very, a very popular person that used to work down in the university down in Philadelphia. So, I mean, I knew there's several people in there, but the house I know is in bad shape, because it's old.
We just inspected it, I think, 2 months ago at most, so we had the issues.
Yeah, it's not real up-to-date stuff in there, but I was curious, because we see it all the time. So, I mean, at least Corbo was in there and they did some work and they cut all the stuff, because it was overgrown. It was really overgrown, really bad. And, the problem is, we had deer, they go in there and they're living like crazy. So, I wake up in the morning, I have 12 deer walking through my yard and going over to that property. Now that all the trees are down, they don't go in there, so. But I was just curious. So those two things, the one is the speed sign, and if there's any information on that property as well, so. But otherwise, all right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll ask one more on Trent. Updates on the work going on at Ballard Park?
It's substantially complete. There's some negotiations, this is the way we've heard about the providers going on there. There's one now, there's another one that's closed. So outside of that, we don't really get a lot of updates, because we'll sort of be told as providers get on there. But that's really about it. They have there's a large trail in there that's bigger than most people would think of if you walk back, and that is going to be, we're partnering on that to have some stone down, a wide trail. There's a long trail now, but it's really expansive throughout that part. We're partnering on that. That should be done by the end of the summer, that part of it. But outside of that, it's really, we'll get, every once in a while, we'll find out about providers.
Thank you. Any other questions or citizens to be heard? All right. With that then, I'd like to make a motion, or invite a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Thank you, Vice Chair Coleman. Anyone want to second that?
Second.
Thank you, Supervisor Barron. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion